on another episode of Soothing Semantics. I am your host, Rafi Pinsky. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, smash the like button. And for all your real estate needs in South Florida, make sure to check out Rafi the Realtor on Instagram. Sign up to my newsletter with the link in bio. And I look forward to helping you. If you are anywhere in the world, Israel, Dubai, Germany, Italy, it doesn't matter. If you are looking to buy in the state of Florida, but specifically South Florida, I would love to help you. Today, we just did an episode an hour ago. I'm still wearing the same shirt. And I just had Rafi Aronov on the show, and now I am having a conversation with a Druze Israeli fighter, Sean Perro, which is very interesting, by the way, because I thought your name does not sound Druze at all. So what's the story with that? Do you have a different last name? Is it like short, or you don't want to say? You're keeping it quiet? What's the story here?
No, it's all planned, as they say. My father wanted me to have an international name. I was born in a village. I was born in Ramat Gan near Tel Aviv, so in the center of Israel. He didn't want me to have like an Arabic name. And Peru, it's like how we used to call it. We don't really have a P in Arabic. We have F, so it's Peru. It's not Peru, but I got used to saying Peru since I was young, so it stuck to it. But
interesting. Yeah, that also is so true. Come to think of it, you don't have P, so it wouldn't make any sense. Okay, yeah, man. So I have a lot of things to ask you. I'm just very curious because I just had Tariel, who's Muslim, and he represents Israel. You're Druze and you represent Israel. So this conversation, a lot of Jewish people are going to want to hear about this, but I also want a lot of people who don't support Israel to listen to what you have to say. We're going to talk a lot about your fights, of course, but I also want to just talk about your experience being Israeli as someone who's not Jewish. Thank you for coming, first and foremost. Really, really happy to have you. Absolutely. Yeah, we just met, 2 hours ago, and now we're sitting down. So nice to talk to you, bro. So sorry?
Love it, I say.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So I see you do a lot of Muay Thai. I see that on your videos. And you're an MMA fighter, and I see you're 5-0 undefeated. Do you have the same plans as all the other guys? You want to make it? I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I just want to ask you, is your goal to get to the UFC? You want to make it all the way to the top? Do you want to go to a different organization? What's your plan?
There is no other way around. To be in the UFC, to become a world champion, the childhood dream we all had, we just stuck to it, and now it's the goal. It's the grind and the process and everything with it. So it never changes. I've been through hard times in my life, and nothing less than that is worth it. Worth chasing. Just the dream, like everybody's on the grind. I believe if you spoke with Tariel, if you spoke with Shimon and all the other guys, we are all pretty much all in. So yeah, it doesn't change with the Israelis.
I agree. It's really good to see. It's also, you guys have such a brotherhood, man. Like, everybody's so tight with each other. It's really good. It's really special. It's a really nice thing to see. Like, everybody supports each other. I always see everyone's liking each other's posts. Everybody's commenting in each other's posts. It's like a real brotherhood. It's really nice. It's really special. So I always ask this to all the guys. What got you into fighting? Give me a little bit of a background. Obviously, I want to go into something real quick. For whoever doesn't know, people who are what are called Druze, not Jews, but Druze, Druze, or as Israelis say in plural, Druzim, are people that have their own religion. It's their own ethnic group. They speak Arabic, but they don't consider themselves, let's say, Palestinians or Arabs. They're their own group of people, and they live in the land that they live among the people that kind of rule the land, and they're respectful of those people. So, in the case, there are Druze in Lebanon, there are Druze in Syria, and they, honor the land that they live in. So in this case, with Israel being a Jewish state, Druze serve in the military in a very high population, much more so actually than the Jewish population, which I admire you guys for, but I'm also disappointed that so many more of you percentage wise are serving in combat roles more so than the Jews are, to be honest. And I'm just gonna admit that because people should know that. So, what was it like growing up? You don't have to give us too much information on that, but what was it like growing up as a Druze in Israel, and what got you into fighting? Like, what brought you here?
So let's make them together because they are together.
Sure.
My story, much like the flag, it's the integration of the being Israeli and being Jews. I was born in Ramat Gan in Tel Aviv until like I was at the age of 10, something like that, until we moved to the village, which is now Dalat El Carmel, where I live.
I was going to ask that. I was wondering why you grew up in Ramat Gan and not Daliat Al
Yes.
Khaimah.
Yeah, so like my father was in there. Like he grew up also like in the Tel Aviv area, worked there, everything. My mother is from Majd al-Shams, like the northest you can get in Israel. Really strict Druze village, not strict, but like very culturally wise,
By the
very.
way, real quick, Shania, I actually know a lot about your culture because I'm just like that, bro. I look all these things up. Not even like before I talk to you, like for a long time, I was very interested in it. I had a friend that I ate Kfir. I was in Kfir, so I had a Druze friend. I was in a different khativa, but not khativa. What do you call it? I'm like forgetting already, bro.
Yeah,
Huh? Pluga,
that,
pluga.
look up.
Yeah, so we were in a different. He was in, I think, Nachshon maybe, but I don't remember exactly where he was. But we became buddies. A really nice guy. And so, like after that, I started to really like learn about it. So those are the two major cities, right? Majd al-Shams and Daliat al-Kalma, right?
Not the major cities, but let's call that Dalat El Carmel is the southest village and Majd al-Shams is the northest village, so on the border of Syria. So everything in between is like where the Israeli Druze are now like populated. You
Mm.
don't have more south than Dalat el Carmel, and more north than Majd al-Shams, but not the main villages. That's for sure. Maybe
Oh,
Dalia.
so those aren't the biggest ones. What's like the biggest? What's the one with the most people?
Dalat el Carmel probably has the most people. After that, I don't really know. Like some big ones, some smaller ones. You have Yarka, Bejan, like also small ones. Isifia, which is close to Dalia. We have similarly the biggest one probably I know is Dalton Carmel right now, but all of them are villages still,
Right.
almost. Yeah.
And is it like only Druze that live there, or do you have like some Jewish Israelis there? Do you have like some Palestinians there? Like, is there a little bit of a mixture, or it's like almost 100% Druze?
It has been like almost always like only Jews, and it's still like that by what we want to do to say. But we have some neighborhoods where you have Muslims who have been there for a long time. Sometimes Jews, when they want to come and like stay for university or something like that, they start to give them like apartments. But I don't really know the policies now. Like, but it's supposed to be a very closed village. Every village is very closed, and that's the idea behind being Jews. We're all together.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and that I know. You guys are only the same with Jews, really. Only marrying your own people, staying in the religion. You're not okay if people marry somebody else or leave the religion. I did a lot of research. So you were telling me before. So your family grew up in your father grew up in Ramat Gan. You guys moved, and then you were telling me.
Yeah, so until I moved, I've been like, I've been Israeli to the utmost point. I don't want to say Jew because I did feel like I'm Jew. I've been in a Jewish school. I didn't know Arabic. I just was good. Sometimes when you have Kippur, I would go with all the holidays outside with everybody. I would go sometimes to the Bet Knesset. Like, it wasn't really Jews Avira because I wasn't in a village, and my father is like, he doesn't have brothers or sisters, so I didn't really have uncles close to me to. So I've been really living like a Jew. And then when they told me I'm Druze, I thought like it's like Marocai or Parsi. Like for those who
Right.
don't know, like Israel is a salad of like you don't just have Arab Muslims, you have Arab Jews. Like so, if somebody in my family speak Arabic, then it's like my friends, from Morocco or from Iran or Iraq. And when we moved to the village, I understood that it's a little bit different. Everybody suddenly speaks Arabic. It feels more like, I don't want to say a Muslim environment, maybe more of like an Arab culture environment. And then when we moved, it was really intense for me because I came there like with all my Israeli culture with me, and early on they didn't accept me really in the village. Like they didn't really, not the older people, but the younger people. I don't know Arabic, and then when I go to play with them to do something, then no, I'm the Jew. Like, and
That's so
it's not like
weird.
Muslims or and Arabic and the Palestinian conflicts. It's just kids being kids. I was different than them, you know. And when I went to Haifa to learn, I said, okay, like I speak perfectly like Hebrew, and I'm like all the Jews. I know their tradition better than them, all the Torah stories. So I think it's gonna be better. And then when I go there, I became the Arabic. You know, I became like the one from the village, the Arab, the a reason to laugh at someone. You know, I didn't have really friends there, and from being like a very like you know, somebody who had a lot of friends around him, always in Ramat Gan, where I grew in, I became very lonely. Like not here and not here. Like nobody accepted me for nothing. Like I don't know, I'm a child. You know, I don't know what the fuck is Arab, Druze, Jew. Like just let me have play around or do
Yeah,
something.
that's so interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so and then it took time. I started developing myself. I started developing more of like I wanted uh, to live lot. Like I wanted to like something that people will look at me and will say, "Oh, I want to be his friend, or I want to admire him, or I wanted to get out of this loneliness." So suddenly I started developing like my personality more. I was a little bit more tougher. I was a little bit more like not tug, but a little bit more doing problem with the teachers. And suddenly I found MMA, and it reminded me very much of my story, like of fighting through it, you know, and fighting into getting what you want. You know, it's prize fighting. So let me fight for it. Let me fight for my freedom, for my friends, for my for fame, not fame, but like people to know me and to maybe be my friend. It was like very, very tamim. Like it was very, very honest, not
Yeah, yeah.
place. And then I found MMA, and like I found it at around seventh grade, and it took me like 2 years to get in there because you know kids being kids, and it was hard to get into from Dalia to get into a good place to train MMA. And I saved money, and my mom was against it, so I couldn't let her pay for it. So I saved money and I went to the gym, and from there I just stuck there and like I had the dream from day one to become a world champion. I said, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all the way, and I haven't looked back ever since.
Wow. And this
Yeah,
is what this is your do you have like a job on the side? Are you fully sponsored? I saw you're sponsored by Anglo-Saxon. That's the real estate company, right? Nadlan, isn't that?
really. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So there,
So
yeah, but I still, you know, being a fighter is very hard. It's very expensive. It's I used to have many jobs growing up, many jobs like just up and coming being fighter. And now the most profitable one I can get is like being a coach. So I coach a lot. I do private sessions in between trainings. It's in the same place when I'm coaching, when I'm in Israel. So it's the most effective way for me to earn money and save money for now. But no big thing. Just getting money, getting to camp, getting a fight, and trusting the process.
I understand. I mean, at the end of the day, man, fighting is not going to be the best way to make money unless you're the best of the best, or unless you're like a really good shit talker. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like if you're like a Conor McGregor and you know how to talk a lot of shit, and you don't.
market important, you know.
Yeah, the marketing is very important, man. But also, when you make it really big, man, you're gonna have it like people are gonna be wondering what you are a lot because many people in the world don't even know what Druze are. So they're gonna be
Yeah,
like, "What is that?" And then they're gonna do the research if they actually care enough to do the research. And then they're gonna say, like that's why I really am excited to talk to you. I was excited to talk to everybody, but you and Tariel specifically because you're not Jewish, and I want to get your experience representing Israel when you're not like that's a big thing for me because, like I said on my podcast, I talk a lot about this.
yeah,
Um, and honestly, man, you know, we can talk about it off the episode or on it, just about like what your thoughts are. If you don't want to get too political, that's okay. Um, but no, we'll save that for the end. Now
yeah.
you're doing a lot of Muay Thai. I see you're 5-0. What are your plans now? Upcoming fights? And what are your plans to maybe get into the UFC, or hopefully you'll get into the UFC, but what are your plans to get there in the near future?
Yeah, so I'm very humble in my way up. I think I have a lot more to do, a lot more to prove, a lot more to grind. So for me, like next fight should be December. I'm speaking with Rafi for a long time about that. We have a lot of like goal, like not goals, like destination, like the idea we put on like objectives. I think next fight will still be in Europe. Maybe if we can get something in the USA, but I don't think so. Still, the visa spotai, like athletes visa we need and all that things. So I'm gonna, but the next step I'm gonna have in 3 weeks, I'm gonna go out on camp and I'm gonna be in Vegas. So it's gonna be first time in the USA.
Oops. Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting one of those, like, I don't know if you get that in Israel, but we get these texts in America when someone gets kidnapped or something. We get
Oh,
like these alarms. Okay. I can't.
careful.
I don't know where the kid is, man. I have a podcast to do, so I hope they save him. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. All right. I'm listening. So
Yeah.
dark. Okay.
Be
Go ahead.
careful with. So yeah, so the next step is gonna be having a camp in the USA, having a feel for it, being close to the bigger organizations. In Thailand, it's very more remote, very good fighters. The scene there is fucking crazy. I've been like 3, 4 times in Thailand every time for like 3 months. I've been doing Muay Thai for not long time, but let's say 2 years. Um, Fought stadiums, been cornering people, being in Bangkok, being in Phuket, and very culturally, like they are fighters. It's for them. It's more than the marketing, more than the business, more than anything. And now for me, the next step maybe will be to be a little bit more closer to the MMA scene, moving to the USA. So that's a big next step. I think December we're fighting. I would like to get 3, 4 more fights next year, and then we'll talk when I'm 9-0, hopefully. And I think then I will look for a contender maybe or whatever it will be. I still need to look into it. I don't know the level. I don't know all that. But we're gonna get into the UFC very UFC ready. Let's call it like that, and not just another guy.
That sounds good. Oh man, that'd be great. It'd be great. I think what would be nice is if we could just have like 5 guys get into the UFC at like the same time, like in the same year. Just like throw a bunch of more Israelis in there. We have 2 right now. We have Yanal Shmuz and we have Natan. I want to talk to Yanal actually. I got to talk to him. So yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really exciting, bro. Really, really exciting. And you have a lot of guys in Vegas. You have Shimon, you have Eli, and you have Natan that are there right now. Maybe they
Yeah,
can.
so yeah, Shimon will be around my time there. Eli will come mid-November, I think. Nathan, I haven't spoke with him, but I think maybe he's there. But it's a big gym. I've been to. It's not my first time in a like big gym. I've been to Bangtao for like good time, and I know how it is. I have a lot of people there in my weight class from what I know. I have my program. They have their good sessions, sparring sessions, team sessions. So I'm looking forward to it for the grind. I know there are a lot of good guys there. Not easy work in there. So let's see what happens.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. So okay, that sounds fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing your fights, man. Now that I follow you and I'm getting to know you, I'll be definitely following you. Um, Now just to get an idea, and do you feel comfortable talking at all? And you could say no. I really want you to say no if you're not comfortable. Are you comfortable at all talking about like how you see being somebody who's Druze in Israel? Like we don't have to talk about solving the conflict or anything, but just what makes you proud to be Israeli versus saying, I don't really like what's going on. This is just where I live, whatever. Like, what makes you, I'm assuming you're proud to be Israeli based on your flag and whatnot.
Like as long as we don't get too much political, because everybody
Yeah,
tells me political, so I will listen. I will be a good kid, and I will keep my opinions to myself. I believe
right.
I'm very my opinions, but I will still keep them to not throw something around that will irrigate people, like will make
Irritate
people
people.
irritated. Look, I'm fully on Israel. I believe Tariel almost in the same position. We have been growing in Israel. It's our country. It's the culture. It's my culture. I've grown up like in Ramat Gan, and then going to the village. Then I'm living in Haifa all my teenage years, like an Israeli kid. Like the whole culture of being Israeli is mine. Like the independent days, the everything. I don't think being Israeli, being Jew, I very much love the Jews, and they're my best friends. And I believe it's their country. It's not okay. That's politically. I don't want people to how irritated. But they won the wars. They got the country. They needed a country. That's for sure. After what happened in World War II, and I think they did the best they can with this country. I think the values in this countries are very good. The virtues are very good. The people are very good. Don't look at what happens lately with the governments and everything, but like the governments are also not bad at all. Like I very much loved it. We had great leaders along the way, and like it's been just lately that we became the bad guys. Like it
Mhm.
hasn't been like that always. Like usually we're the good guys, and somewhere along the line, the last few years we became the bad guys around the world, and it's okay with that. We're okay with that, but Israel is not bad. I never seen something bad in Israel. People try to sometimes also for me send messages. Look at them going into like how you call it, misgad, like
The mosque.
a mosque, and like hitting people and doing. And I've been in the army, and I know all those stuff, and I know maybe they were hiding something there. Maybe it went out of context, and maybe so just the media being everywhere and like fake news everywhere. And sometimes, yeah, there are wrong things happen, but like it's a conflict at the end of the day. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a proud Israeli, and I would fight for my country, and I would die for my country. And this is my country, not Syria, like not Lebanon, not Jordan, not Palestine, if they want to call it like that, like not Egypt, not anything around. It's Israel. So, and I would not like it any other way.
Wow. I love that, bro. I hope you're okay with putting that out, man, because I think some people aren't gonna like it, but I hope that at the end of the
I,
day they're not gonna like you having the Israeli flag either. So I hope you're okay with me putting this out because I think it was really powerful. I hope, is it cool with you?
it's good. The Druze people are not against Israel.
Yeah.
Like you said, we are loyal to our country. We're very loyal to our land. We're very loyal to the people we are in
First
border.
of all, there are people that listen. There's a lot of Israelis that would even say that sometimes the Druze are more loyal than the Jews are. To be honest with you, and it kind of annoys me. I'm very supportive of Druze. Like I love you guys, but it's like annoying that the people that should be the most supportive are the Jewish people. They should be. There's a lot of them who are, but there's too many who aren't.
Yeah, it's the on where we live. Like you said, many of us went to the army. It's also our way. We're coming from small villages. It's not our language, Hebrew, not everything. So our way to be integrating with the land of Israel is also through the army,
Hmm.
getting to things and like getting there. So if you put it out there, like that's I think also a big thing why a lot of Jewish people went into the army and stayed there and stuck there for a long, long time. And but at the end of the day, uh, it's our country. We have a lot of I don't know how you say משפחות שכולות, like a lot of families that had people who died in the army, in the wars, in the conflicts. Uh, I don't think there are many Druze that think other way. The Druze on the borders, or the Druze that are less integrated with the army and with Israel might have different opinions, but we have to know also that they are still loyal. A lot of them to the people in the Golan Heights. There are still a lot of them loyal to the Syrian people. Even
They
though
have family,
yeah, even though like my family, a lot of them came from Syria. My grandma and grandfather came from Syria before Israel, let's say, occupied it.
right? Right.
Many of them say that's the best thing that happened that they occupied it. Look what happens now in Syria.
Yeah.
But people will stay loyal, will stay loyal, and that's who we are. Like, we are loyal to our land, to our people, and that's how we've been. So it's not different right now, and we're proud of it.
That's good. That's a great answer, bro. I love that. Honestly, that phenomenal. Love it. Okay. Is there anything I'm just trying to see? Is there anything else you wanted to cover? You know, we didn't talk for that long. If there's anything else you wanted to bring up, I'm more than happy. You know, what are your thoughts? Anything you want to tell the people listening? Upcoming fights, in general.
Yeah, so just tune in, just stay tuned. I'm gonna fight in December. I'm heading on to camp in 3 weeks, and that's it. I think after December, pretty quick, I'll recover, and March probably end of February again, and it's gonna be a very very busy year. So just stay tuned. Everything
Awesome.
else.
I'll be watching you. That's for sure. Yeah, guys. So definitely make sure to check out Sean and look at his Instagram. And hold on here. Okay, because it's just Sean Pero. So it's SeanPero. You find him on Instagram. Become a fan. Follow his fights. And of course, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Comment on the podcast. Really appreciate that you guys made it this far. Thank you again for coming, my brother. Much, much appreciated.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna we'll stop the recording and then we can talk like off of the recording. Alrighty, guys. Always a pleasure doing this podcast and having everybody listen. Until next time.